How are you?
Doing well. Busy, but busy's good.
Oh my God, busy, crazy busy.
It is kind of crazy busy.
Oh my God, between classes
and independent research.
Writing my book,
right.
doing all these things.
Right.
Oh my God.
So we apologize for last week.
Yes.
But we are back, and hopefully we'll get in a couple sessions within the next week or two, so
yes.
We'll be back on schedule. But we have a lot to talk about today.
Yes, we do.
And we will begin with our Real Housewives.
Oh, do you want to start with Beverly Hills?
Yeah, let's start with Beverly Hills.
Okay,
Let's start with Beverly Hills.
Let's start... Let's
start with Beverly Hills.
Okay,
They're
we'll
fabulous.
Start with Beverly Hills. Well, what is happening there is really, I thought that they were going to diminish Taylor's drama for this season because of her husband's suicide.
Correct.
But it seems like everything is concentrated around her drama.
Oh, interesting.
And this is making me feel kind of uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the drama is continuing. She had a complete meltdown.
But they're not showing him, correct? I mean,
no, they're not showing him.
What the family is.
They're not showing him. But she had a complete meltdown when she was in Colorado at Camille's palace.
Okay.
And then when they came back, then apparently there was something in the paper about her not eating and getting anorexic.
Oh, yeah. I had read that some time ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And now she's blaming that on Lisa Vanderpump.
Oh.
And so she's creating
Lisa's spreading these rumors, supposedly? According to Taylor?
According to Taylor.
Okay.
And what she's doing now is trying to create a schism between Lisa and the rest of the housewives.
Okay.
And now we have, last week, we have introduced a new character. I forget her name. She's a beautiful, younger woman. Well, they were at a party, and Adrienne brought this woman.
Okay.
She's supposedly the ex-wife of Eddie Ciprian, who married Leanne Rimes.
Oh.
And the girls were so horrible to her. The cattiness was just unbelievable. And that cattiness was led by Kyle.
Oh.
It was just breathtakingly catty.
Do you think it was out of jealousy? Or, what was the conversation?
Well,
or they
Adrian's husband said, older women have a real problem with younger, beautiful women in Beverly Hills, and therefore the cattiness begins.
Well, this certainly what he said is our stereotype of kind of Beverly Hills women, right? That this is true. That there's an age, and everything is young in Hollywood and Beverly Hills. So maybe he's right. Maybe I've never lived there, so I don't know.
But what it does, it kind of stereotypes women.
Kyle's actions?
Yes, and the rest of the housewives. That women can't get along, that they're catty, that they're jealous. That they're untrustworthy as friends.
Right, yeah.
And so it goes on and on and on. And I have a problem with that. But anyway.
I have a problem, and I see that. But in some ways, this is the true nature, probably, of these women. I mean, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's a characteristic of all women. I'm certainly not saying that. But I am saying that for these women, maybe there's something to do with class or environment that brings this about with women. And, it'd be interesting, Deb, if they did like men. A male version of this. To see, I'm sure men do the same thing. To see how
men interact with one another.
Right.
I don't know, though. It's just that, to me, it perpetrates a stereotype of women.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
Because, I mean, in my lifetime, I've run across a lot of bitchiness,
right.
You know what I mean, towards me, and heard it about others, and, it just perpetrates this myth that women can't get together and really accomplish something, and get along for the better good, and be helpful and kind and generous to one another.
Right. I'm wondering, I want to go back to the Taylor situation on this show, because I think that is interesting. Because in some ways, this cannot be helping her, because as we all know, these are pre-taped, so it's not like live action.
No.
So, right now she is, I'm assuming, dealing with her husband's suicide and sort of everything that goes with financial, their child, God bless this child that they have. And I'm wondering, like, you know, I don't want to necessarily critique the show blatantly, but I mean, you know, this is pre-recorded stuff, so I guess what they have is what they have, and they got to roll with it.
What they have is what they have. And one thing that really struck a sour note, she went over to Kyle's house to inform her, you know, about this, you know, about this kind of negative publicity that she was receiving in the press.
Right.
And Kyle said to her, well, is it someone who works for you?
Okay.
And Taylor, like she was the Queen of England, said, well, you know, everyone who works for us has a confidentiality agreement. Oh. Don't you, Kyle? Kyle goes, no. So then they cut to Kyle saying, you know, I don't have a staff. I do have a housekeeper, but is she under a confidentiality agreement? No. I mean, who does Taylor think she is? I mean, she's just some unknown person, and apparently came from abject poverty.
I think she spoke about this, actually.
She has.
Yeah.
And married supposedly well. I don't know if this is her first husband.
I don't know.
I'm not
sure. But she is a big advocate for poverty, and I do really respect that. She had that charity event, remember, last season.
I do respect that.
But
on the other hand, you know, don't get so high and mighty just because you're on a reality TV show.
Right. But doesn't this show then, and we just look at Taylor as a character, look what money can do to people.
Well, that's true.
I mean, it does not do that probably to everyone, but it can do.
It can, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, that whole situation sounds really interesting with those wives.
So let's go on to New Jersey.
Well,
Take it from New Jersey.
Jersey, we certainly have Teresa and her husband Joe, who are in financial trouble, and that was on the show. I mean, they allowed, and I was surprised that they allowed that to be aired, but I guess it is a part of the reality, so they kind of have to. But so they have gone to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, beautiful island,
gorgeous. I wish I were there.
Me too. But here is my bitchiness for the day about that.
Yes. Okay.
So they arrive on this island.
Rock on.
Okay. They arrive on this island, this beautiful island. They decide to go there to sort of rekindle their family, rekindle friendships. Of course, our friendships are pretty good, but it's the family, right? What is it? The Geodices and the something.
Kathy and her husband.
Yeah, right. So they're trying to reunite. Okay. They get there. They get in the airport. They start doing shots, drinking. That's fine. They're having a great time. Then on the way to their resort, they stop because a few of the men have to urinate. Now, okay, so they get out and...
Do it in public!
They did it in public. They got out and went into the field and urinated. And Melissa says, well, you know Jersey's here. We, you know, welcome. Jersey's in Punta Cana or something like that. Okay, here's my thing. Here's the thing. No class. But isn't it bad enough that the white man returns to a former colony and pisses on the ground? Excuse me, Deborah.
Oh, yes.
That makes me really angry.
Oh, yeah,
because
that makes me angry,
it's disrespectful to the country.
Yes.
Because it's like sort of, we can be Americans and we can do what we want. And just pull over the car and I'm just going to urinate on the fields. And there's just something about it.
I think you're absolutely
There's something about that shot. I just thought, this is so disrespectful.
It is.
It reminds me of what happened in New York when they went to Morocco and how a few of them were like putting down the Moroccan culture and it's dirty.
The culture,
people are dirty and all
people,
this. And I'm thinking, okay, here's my thing. If they're going to start doing
the ugly American.
Exactly. If the Real Housewives, Andy, if you're going to start allowing these people to go internationally, I know this is the real behavior. This is who they really are. But it is definitely not portraying an American in a good light, in my opinion.
Those scenes need to be edited out. Because what it does is
create funny to bad relations. But it's not funny to me.
It creates bad relations.
Yeah. So, anyway, they're there. Drama started again.
Oh, my
Teresa
God,
and Kathy. And Teresa started it, of course.
Teresa started it.
I don't know what it is. She just cannot let things go. Of course, she doesn't see it that way. She clearly sees that Kathy and Melissa are maybe instigating a lot, but Teresa just has this bitterness to her. And, you know, it's funny because even Caroline and Jacqueline and the others see, the way they comment, they can see a difference in Teresa.
They're beginning to cool a little with Teresa.
Yeah, they are.
You know, I think with Teresa, you know, she is basically a very sweet, kind of naive woman.
Yeah.
She's not well educated. She can barely speak English. She always is using malapropisms, right? But I think it's a combination of her lack of education and her lack of experience with the world outside of her home. She's in this perpetual state of teenagedom. She still acts like a teenager, and she's heading towards 40.
Yeah.
I think one of the most disturbing parts, aside from what you've mentioned, and the whole fight with Kathy, is her insistence on giving a fashion bikini show to everyone before they went to the beach, and some of the outfits were like hookers. I mean, and then what she finally ended up wearing, this gold lame outfit. Please, that's for someone who's 20 years old. Have a little dignity. Have a little respect for yourself.
Yeah.
Her sister-in-law looked adorable in a white outfit.
Yeah.
Looked adorable and age-appropriate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah, I think Teresa has it seems she has some insecurities, or she wants to always impress. I don't know. It's interesting because, you know, you see the children, the Manzo children, they even comment, and Greg, the friend of Albie and Chris, they even comment on Teresa and, like, how surprised they are.
Oh, what was that comment?
About there they Teresa's actions.
Oh, there go she and Joe, and they'll be complaining in third grade English language, or something like that.
Something like that.
It was funny.
You know, the thing is, I think Teresa and Joe probably are really good people. I think it's just their behavior and their actions, the way they're portrayed on the show, and probably the way they interact is just not...
A little too much alcohol, I think. You know, alcohol makes people do crazy things.
Not they. I'm saying these cast of women, they drink
all the time.
It's as if life is buzzed all the time.
All the time. I don't know how you can operate. I just don't.
I don't know. I think about that with Ramona and her wine, and she's like...
Well, she's always sloshed.
Anyway, that's The Real Housewives. Will be interesting to see how it continues to go on. So anyway, here in Toledo... Last week, I believe there was a poetry reading. Poetry Speaks.
Oh, Poetry Speaks. Poetry Speaks. So much fun.
It was. Deborah Coulter-Harris here was the opening poet at the event and did phenomenally well. You know, I have to say, I have read and listened to Deb read her poetry, but never live, and it was an experience, Deb. It was great.
Thank you so much.
It was really great. There's so much enthusiasm, and you can tell she takes her work serious. So I just want to say, applaud.
Well, thank you.
Really.
You know, everyone was wonderful.
They were.
The grad students were great, and of course, Joel Littman is always sensational.
Yes.
And such a nice human being.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
it was just a great outlet for people to share their work, and it was a great crowd, I thought, really welcoming, and a pretty good crowd, actually.
Actually, we had a very large crowd, so I was very happy.
I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy with that. Great job again.
Thank you.
Our Rockets. Deb, you've been keeping up on this. I have failed. I'm so sorry, Rockets.
Down.
What happened?
Okay, well, I mean, they played 4 games. They've lost 3 and only won 1. But last week, they were robbed.
Okay.
Yeah, they were robbed of the game. So, Rockets, keep up your spirit. Hang in there. You still have a lot more games, many more games to play. And let's go kill them, Rockets.
That's right.
Rah, rah, rah. I love my Rockets.
You've heard it from Dad.
I love my Rockets.
So we continue to support them. And
absolutely.
No matter if they don't win anymore, we still love our Rockets.
No, they work hard.
So, also on campus this week is the banned book series or the band book week. I think it's band book week across the country.
That's correct.
And today is the day that our campus is celebrating it, and of course when you see this it will be over. But anyhow, we just want to say we do support this, and we're so glad that our campus continues to have these events.
Yes, and we've been talking a lot about censorship in my Comp 1 classes.
Yeah. Same
here. And where censorship began under monarchs and tyrants and dictators and things of this nature.
Right.
And of course, the church had a lot. To play with censorship.
Sure.
So anyway, we've been discussing all that in class, and so this band book week means a lot to my students. Absolutely.
So we're really happy that our campus is doing that today. And don't forget, this is like a whole week of this. So you might want to look at your community. Maybe there's events in your community you can attend later this week or during the weekend.
And props to the organizers here at the University of Toledo.
I know.
Great job.
Dr. Sharon Barnes is giving the keynote.
I love Sharon Barnes. I went to grad school with her. She
really?
She was a little bit ahead of me, but she's
wonderful.
She's wonderful.
She's one of my MA thesis readers, and she's just wonderful. So,
she is.
Yes, we support them, and great that our campus is doing that.
Yes.
And so, back to entertainment.
Oh, Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars. I failed to see episode 2, but you told me that Chaz did wonderful again.
Chaz Bono on the first episode was so wonderful, did a fabulous job, despite all of this horrendous publicity.
Right.
And I thought she was one of the best. He. That's okay. Sorry. He was one of the best. And actually, the judges gave him kind of low scores.
They did. I thought they did.
Not real low, but I thought he deserved better.
Right.
And he did splendidly again.
Good.
So, it was George Clooney's girlfriend who got the boot this week.
Oh, well, she was kind of too overconfident.
She was fighting like crazy with her dance instructor.
Yeah, and she just went out there and kind of shook. I mean, she has a great... Well, she has like a model body. She is a model.
She has a model body. She weighs 90 pounds.
Right. So they were able to kind of throw her and twist her every way. But when, the judge's critique on her was that when she was by herself, she didn't look too good.
No, she was very stiff.
Right. She didn't really know what to do.
Right. Just because you're skinny doesn't mean you can dance.
And I think it's also to Deb. She's not that famous. I mean, nobody really... I mean, I'm sorry, Dancing with the Stars. Nobody...
You know what Dancing with the Stars should do? They should get all of George Clooney's former girlfriends and just have them all dancing. I think that would be hysterical.
Give the winner a second chance at George Clooney.
With George Clooney. Yeah, because, he has a new girlfriend like every 6 months, every year. Oh, well, I mean, so what?
Yeah, so what? We like George Clooney.
Oh, yeah.
So... Based on what happened this week, who do you think might go home? Who is your least favorite?
Who's my least favorite?
How did Nancy Grace? Because I love Nancy Grace.
Well, I like Nancy Grace.
She's cute and she's
gonna go home. I think she's gonna go home soon.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah. But she's having fun.
Carson Kressley.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
Yeah.
He can't dance a lick.
No, he can't.
But he goes out there and just gives this fabulous show. They'll probably keep him on for a couple more weeks because he's so entertaining.
Well, and the thing
he's not a good dancer, but he's entertaining and he's so full of personality. I love you, Carson.
Well, one thing is that, he's not a great dancer, but while he's dancing, he looks and he acts like he knows what he's doing.
Yes.
He has confidence.
Yes.
So it's different than somebody sort of like panicking and stumbling around, right? I mean, he just goes with it.
He just goes for it.
Keep it up, Carson.
He's very uncoordinated, but he knows it, and he told his instructor, but he puts his heart and soul. And one of the things that the judges said about Carson, even though you're not the best dancer, you put in the most time practicing.
Oh, that's interesting.
Rob Kardashian is good.
Well, is he? Well, he's young. He probably has some moves.
Yeah, but he's like becoming more and more aware of how out of shape he was, and I think this is going to get him really into great shape. He's a very handsome young man.
Yeah, he is a very good-looking man.
Yeah, well, his whole family.
I was going to say, look at the
family.
Whole families, and the mother.
His mother is brilliant,
and she's beautiful.
She's beautiful, but I'm going to tell you something. Kris Jenner, Kardashian, Kardashian, is so brilliant. She has taken her family.
Yeah.
And none of them are particularly talented in anything.
No, right.
And just through her sheer willpower and her, creating her own business and through publicity has made her family multi-gazillionaires.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, her daughters are beautiful.
Oh, the daughters are beautiful. They're all beautiful.
They're all beautiful.
They have great personalities.
Great.
But I love that they're a strong family unit.
Kris is the power behind the throne. She is. Kris, I think you are one of the most amazing American women right now.
You heard it.
In terms of business.
Yeah.
What a fabulous, brilliant. Take me on as a client, Kris. You can promote my books. Thank you.
I've never watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but does she present herself? Do you watch the show?
Yeah. Not all the time, but I've seen enough of that.
Does she present herself like a Caroline Manzo? We love Caroline Manzo from Jersey. Yes. She does.
Oh, I love her.
I've never seen the show.
So. Oh, I love her.
Yeah.
She's just like the ultimate mother.
Good for her.
Wasn't
the stepfather a former Olympian?
Well, yes, Bruce Jenner.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And he's so adorable.
When he treats them so well.
He's such a good father.
He is.
Very strict.
Yeah.
Very strict. The only thing I don't like sometimes is when the girls swear at their mother. I have a problem with that, but she gives it right back.
Yeah,
so
I
love her.
She is definitely a woman with a backbone.
Okay.
Speaking of backbones that might be breaking, though, Gaddafi.
Oh, my God, okay. The news has been rather scant about this.
Yeah.
Now, all I know right now is that we've reopened our embassy, or opened an embassy in Libya.
Yes.
And, he's still crying out that he's going to win his country back.
That's right, of course.
But the so-called rebels, or, the freedom fighters, we're going to call them freedom fighters, they're in the process of establishing a government. So I don't know what's going on. They haven't got him. I don't know. Nobody knows where he is still. Mm-hmm. So I just don't know what's taking so long. I mean, get him and get him out. I mean, either... give him an opportunity to leave the country and go somewhere else, or capture him and get him the heck out of there.
Something, I wonder is he waiting is he kind of staying cool and quiet and then waiting for things to settle down, allow these people to start their little government, and then he's going to sort of infiltrate it? I mean, is that what his plan? That's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
He has to come out at some point.
So many of his financial assets have been frozen by Great Britain.
Yeah.
And some of the other European countries, that his access to finances, are questionable. Yeah. What he does, he likes to hire these African soldiers, to help him fight his battles. So I don't know.
Well, he is a part of the African. Is it the African Union?
Yes.
Yeah.
He wanted to be. Actually, he wanted to be president of all of Africa at one time.
That's right. Yeah. And so I know he has.
What kind of ego do you have to have for that?
And the man is illiterate, is he not?
Well, he was a nomad. Yes, he has no formal education.
Anyway,
what about his Bedouin living out in the desert?
What about his children?
Well, they're well educated.
Well, I know they're educated, but I mean, what's going on there? I have not heard much about them either.
No. I have no idea. And it's really, you get conflicting reports.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his one son supposedly has been killed 3 times in the last 6 months.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely, yes.
I mean, it's been ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, but he's not. And, so they're all still alive, and who knows what's going to happen. But, it just needs to end. Same with Syria. Get rid of Bashar al-Assad. What's taking so long?
Yeah.
What is taking so long? I mean, please.
Yeah. I just, in talking about this, encourage viewers, if you're not doing it already, read multiple news sources.
Yes.
because you do get conflicting reports, but watching just one news source is not going to do it anymore, especially in our global world. You have to read multiple.
Actually,
I read and listen to Al Jazeera English all the time.
Absolutely.
Because,
and also there's a site that you can go to where you can connect with every English language newspaper from every country in the world.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I have it on my professional website, my Epsilon site for my students.
We'll share that with you next week.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, keeping in with the Middle East, let's talk about Saudi Arabia. And, I posted even on my own personal Facebook site how happy I was that women now do have the right to vote. But Deborah told me today about
it's not for 4 years.
For 4 years. I didn't catch that.
Hey, guess what, ladies? you can vote now. Oh, no, wait. No. You can vote in 4 years. But you still can't drive a car now. Still can't drive a car.
Yeah, we're passionate about this. I was so excited. And I missed this because so here, this is why you got to read multiple news sources, because my news source did not mention this little footnote of in 4 years. Why? Is there explanation?
I have no idea. I have no idea. No. So I just think it's pathetic that in the 21st century that women don't have a right to vote or drive a car or go to the mall with their friends. That they have to be accompanied by a male. I know it's their culture,
it's
and
their culture.
I understand all of that, and I respect that, but really.
Yeah.
I mean, why come out and say that women are going to have the right to vote, but not for 4 years?
Yeah, that's what I think I need to investigate. So if you know why, please post to this posting. Because I don't know that. I mean, there must be something. I mean, totally, we do respect their culture. I mean, look, we can't expect everything to be the United States overnight, and every country to be a democracy overnight. It takes time.
No, it takes time.
But certainly, I am a huge feminist. Anybody that knows me, I'm an enormous feminist and a huge supporter of women's rights. So this, for me, personally, as a man of the West, I was extremely excited as a feminist.
Well, so was I when I was reading about it until I came to in 4 years. And even one of my colleagues came to my office yesterday, Mike Heiser, and we were talking about it. He goes, "Yeah, did you hear women got the right to vote in Saudi Arabia in 4 years?" It's
interesting. I guess we'll see what goes on with that. But if you do know, inform us. What's going on?
Yes, please tell us what's going on.
So a woman who is also arguably a feminist,
Rachel Zoe.
Rachel Zoe. We can talk about Rachel Zoe.
She moved into her new house. Okay.
Yeah.
She had one of her hirelings, who's actually a designer.
Yeah.
Move into have all her things moved into the house plus new furniture and furnish this big, I don't know, what is it, 7,000 square foot house or something.
Where at?
In a week. It all happened in a week. Everything is white. White rugs, white walls, white furniture in every single room. White.
How do you have a child?
Right, she's going to have a baby.
And have everything.
Actually, her husband mentioned that. He said, "What are we going to do with the baby?"
Like, what happens when the baby throws up on the carpet?
That's what he said.
See, because it's practical.
Yeah, it's practical.
No, let's be honest. It's probably gorgeous.
But your home's not my taste, but it's gorgeous.
Your home's not supposed to be. See, I'm different.
Yes.
I like there to be a room or rooms dedicated to where you put your really nice thing.
Yes.
Right? And you just rarely sit in it. But home's also supposed to be home.
Well,
you're supposed to be able to snuggle on the couch and not feel like you're on
I have a big leather couch that anybody can lie down on, or you can spill stuff on, or whatever.
Right.
When I'm home, when you're home, you want to relax.
That's right.
You want to lie down.
But here's
I come from a great line of floppers.
Yeah.
Flop on the couch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We always had many couches, and many comfortable places.
That's right, that's right.
Home is a place where you rest and relax and rejuvenate from the cruel world.
Yeah. But, I mean, let's face it. Rachel Zoe is never out of Chanel. I mean, she looks fabulous probably from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. So, for her to have all white, I think she's thinking that she's the only one living there. I think her husband's right. Honey, are you forgetting about me and the baby?
He's great. I love her husband.
Well, that'll be interesting. Well, good for her. One other feminist I want to talk about is Sarah Palin. There's been a lot in the news about Sarah Palin recently and her family and her past actions and all of this. We won't go into that. But I do want to talk about Bristol Palin, her oldest daughter, who was recently harassed in a bar.
Terrible.
Terrible. Because she was simply having fun at this bar, and someone called her mom, I think, a whore.
Yes!
And Bristol stuck up for her mother. And I just want to say, shout out to Bristol.
Shout out to you, Bristol.
I really admire that, because, you know, your mother has gone through a lot. And I just admire that you as a daughter stand behind your mom, because I would do the same thing.
I would absolutely do the same.
And you were absolutely in the right, in my opinion.
Well, no, I mean, you know, why do people do things like that?
Because alcohol, again, the
alcohol,
they get mouthy.
So low class.
Well, it is. Oh, it's so low class. There's a time and there's a place for that.
So low class.
She was not in there campaigning. She was in there having fun.
Yes.
And, you know, that was kind of a shame to see, because I thought, you know, this girl can't even go into probably a metropolis city in the United States, because they're more liberal and...
Anywhere.
Yeah, and not be harassed by her mother. So anyway.
So shout out to you.
Kudos to you, Bristol, and, you know... We admire you for what you did. Last but not least, X Factor.
Oh, I love X Factor.
It's so good. It's so good. I want to talk about what I saw last night. There was a man from Columbus, Ohio. And him and his mother drove to Chicago. And I believe it was Chicago. And he auditioned, and they were overwhelmed.
Blew them away.
Yes. And I'm so happy, you know, for him, because he's a fellow Ohioan. And the whole show, though, is really, it's really showing us some really
great talent. Now, I didn't see all of it, so I didn't see him. But I did see the 4 young men.
Yes.
African-American men at the beginning. Who they were fabulous.
Yes.
Oh, my God. There's a lot of great talent.
Oh, there is. And show. Young ones. There's like a 14-year-old girl last night.
All the way to 55 or 60 years old.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
There's no age limit.
No, there was a grandmother who did phenomenal.
She was wonderful.
So I'm so excited about this.
And I'm so glad to see Paula Abdul. I don't care. I love Paula, and I love Simon.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the 2 other judges. I don't really know who they are, but they're great.
Yeah, they are. And super talented. I mean, L.A. Reid, who is this
major
music producer.
Hello, yes.
Yeah, I mean, God. Incredible that they were able to get him. So this show, I think, has, for one, really talented judges.
Yes.
That can really comment on talent.
Yes.
And it's really showcasing us some really great American
talent. Do you think it's going to blow American Idol off the map?
I think it's going to blow everything, actually.
I think so, because now American Idol is getting kind of schmaltzy.
Yeah. Well, and they can't keep judges. You know, there's rumors Jennifer Lopez may not come back. Steven Tyler may not come back.
I know.
Randy and Ryan are sort of hooked to it through contract.
Right.
But...
That's it.
I just think it doesn't showcase the talent.
No.
This is showcasing.
No. I know.
So I'm excited.
Well, on American Idol, there's an age cutoff, isn't
there? Isn't it?
27, 28?
Well, it's like 18 to 27 or something.
Right. So
something
that's
like, or no, 16 maybe or something. I don't know.
Yes, because they have 16-year-olds. Right. Exactly.
But there's something about it. I mean,
I love the X Factor.
Look, here's the thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think, now are getting to the point where they don't want to be, like, known as the American Idol winner.
Yes.
But the X Factor, it has, like, a $3 million prize, plus a recording contract. I mean, we're talking
huge.
A serious talent will come out of this.
Yes, absolutely.
And you have L.A. Reid and Simon Cowell that's going to be producing.
Absolutely. And, you know, it was... He started the X Factor in England.
That's right.
And it's a vast success there.
Huge success.
So that's why he wanted to bring it here.
Right, right.
Okay.
So we support Simon.
Oh, we support Simon.
He knows what he's talking about.
He does know what he's talking about.
It's just good fun.
And I love him.
You know, and
I don't care how many people hate him. No. I love you.
Look, he says what we're thinking, but we don't say.
Exactly. He's honest.
The last thing I want to mention is that watching this show last night, really, I was sharing this with somebody. The one thing, even if you're not a reality show fan or a fan of these singing competitions, the one thing about like American Idol even, and X Factor, and America's Got Talent and that type of thing, they are able to give people who are less privileged and may not have an opportunity to go to Nashville or Hollywood.
Right.
It gives them a chance. And I think we have seen that from the very beginning with American Idol. Kelly Clarkson, who was like living out of her car at one point in her life.
From Texas.
Right? It's just phenomenal that these shows can really offer these people
it's
a chance at fame. So,
anyway, we need that chance.
I know. Yes, we do.
We need that chance, Andy Cohen. We need that chance.
We would be wonderful.
Fabulous. We are
fabulous.
Okay.
So we'll continue doing this.
We will continue.
Until somebody gives us an opportunity.
I just hope I'm not, sitting in this chair dead when it happens. Okay.
All right, darling.
Well,
so we're off to continue working.
Yes, we have to go back to work now. So we want to tell our audience to stay fabulous. Bye.